Good afternoon, friends. Happy New Year's to all of you. You need to watch out for this. This might surprise you. There are at least two major Social Security rules that will not be changing in 2024. But there are a few Social Security mistakes you probably don't even realize that you're making. Top experts say this could affect millions of seniors financially. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, to say thank you for being part of this community. My dear friends, this coming Friday and every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. Please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways.
Will working people be better off if we just walk away from our jobs and inflation remains 5-6%?
Let me ask you about what happens if you do this. Since the end of World War II, there have been 12 times in which the unemployment rate has increased by 1 percentage point within 1 year, exactly what you're aiming to do right now. How many of those times did the U.S. economy avoid falling into a recession?
You know, it's not as black and white as very
Just
very
looking at the numbers, it actually is pretty black
Alan
and white.
Blinder's written a book on this, and
there have been 12 times that we've seen a 1 point increase in the unemployment rate in a year. That's exactly what your Fed report has put out as the projection and the plan based on how you're going to keep raising these interest rates. How many times did the economy fail to fall into a recession after doing that, out of 12 times?
I think the number is 0.
I think the number is 0. That's exactly right. So then the question becomes, we've got 2 million people out of work. Can you stop it at 2 million people? History suggests that the Fed has a terrible track record of containing modest increases in the unemployment rate. Once the economy starts shedding jobs, it's kind of like a runaway train. It is really hard to stop. In fact, in 11 out of the 12 times that the unemployment rate increased by a full percentage point within 1 year, unemployment went on to rise another full percentage point on top of that. If that's what happens this time, we'd be looking at least 3.5 million people who would lose their jobs. So, Chair Powell, if you reach your goal and 2 million people get laid off by the end of this year, and then, just like in 11 out of 12 times that unemployment has risen by a point in a single year, it keeps on rising, and then we've got 2.5 million people out of work, we've got 3 million people who get laid off, we've got 3.5 million people who get laid off. What's your plan?
Well, right now, the unemployment rate is 3.4%, which is the lowest in 54 years. And we actually don't think that we need to see a sharp or enormous increase in unemployment to get inflation under control.
I'm looking at your projections. Do you call laying off 2 million people this year not a sharp increase in unemployment?
I would say 4.5%.
Explain that to the 2 million families who are going to be out of work.
We're not targeting any of that. But I would say even 4.5% unemployment is well better than most of the time for the last 75 years.
In other words, you don't have a plan to stop a runaway train if it occurs. Chair Powell, you are gambling with people's lives, and there's a pile of data showing that price gouging and supply chain kinks and the war in Ukraine are driving up prices. You cling to the idea that there's only one solution: lay off millions of workers. We need a Fed that will fight for families, and if you're not going to lead that charge, we need someone at the Fed who will.
According to Yahoo News, it seems like the rules about Social Security and retirement are changing just about every year. From increases in full retirement ages to cost of living adjustments, there's a load of information for retirees and near retirees to pay attention to at the end of each year. And 2024 is no different. Seniors will see their fair share of rule changes, and some could even come as a surprise. But a pair of Social Security rules will not change at all next year, and the lack of rule changes could end up being the biggest surprise of them all. Social Security uses a metric called combined income to determine what portion of your benefits count as taxable income on your federal income taxes. Combined income is equal to your adjusted gross income plus any non-taxable interest income plus 1/2 of your Social Security income. Yahoo News has stated that if your combined income exceeds certain thresholds, you will owe taxes on a portion of your Social Security. Those thresholds stay the same even though Social Security benefits receive a cost of living adjustment every year. And while regular income tax brackets are typically adjusted for inflation, the Social Security taxation rules do not factor in any adjustment. Most people know they can receive a higher Social Security check if they delay their benefits beyond their full retirement age. However, experts have said that you won't receive any additional retirement credits beyond age 70, and that's not changing. Social Security is a key source of retirement income. In fact, research from the Social Security Administration found that benefits were the largest source of income for 40% of retired workers. A survey from MassMutual found that 42% of workers nearing retirement in 2023 expect benefits to be their largest source of income when they retire. Examining trends in the average Social Security payout can be useful at times like this. The SSA publishes a monthly snapshot detailing payment information to various groups of beneficiaries. The most recent snapshot shows that 50 million retired workers received a Social Security benefit in November 2023, and the average payout was $1,844. So that represents a 126% increase from November 2000, when the average payout was $815. There are two primary reasons the average Social Security retired worker benefit has increased over time. First, the initial payout is impacted by changes in general wage levels, as measured by the average wage index. Second, subsequent payments are adjusted annually based on changes in inflation, as measured by the CPIW. Generally speaking, the AWI and the CPIW increase from one year to the next, so the average Social Security payout also increases. Also, friends, according to Yahoo News, as of December 20th, at least 13 million people have been disenrolled from Medicaid in 2023. Net enrollment in the program has dropped by around 7.8 million. Ordinarily, people enrolled in Medicaid, which is a government-provided health insurance for individuals with low incomes or disabilities, go through eligibility checks every year to determine whether they can renew coverage. But in March 2020, our federal government froze the checks as part of its public health emergency. So individuals were continuously enrolled in Medicaid, and no one was dropped for nearly 3 years. That stopped when President Biden ended the emergency in the spring. Many months later, Medicaid enrollees across the country are still getting letters as part of the unwinding process, which is scheduled to continue through May 2024. Just over 70% of Medicaid disenrollments in states with available data were for procedural reasons, such as missing paperwork. Losing coverage can have life or death consequences, even if it's eventually restored. So many are urging for Congress to take executive action and solve this as quickly as possible. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Oh, dear friends, thank you very much for being part of this community. Every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, Please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, dearest friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and safe New Year's Eve.